Hello and welcome along to another episode of this FM19 story, part of the Furniture with me, Daniel. It's season 18, episode 9, and today we're back for the penultimate game of the season, and the first of two massive finals to finish this year. We've already wrapped up the Premier League title, and today we can make it a domestic double. It's an FA Cup final against Crystal Palace, remarkably a championship side we're facing, and we're coming up against a former legend, Owen Jack, who we're hoping won't come back to haunt us. Then 2 weeks later we got the Champions League final. That's against Premier League runners-up Arsenal. They made a remarkable comeback against PSG as we crept over the line against Real Madrid. So it's going to be two very exciting games. Could be a really massive treble for us in the end. And what a way it would be to spend up an ultimate season before we try and win the European Super Cup final. That could all go to pot if we lose the Champions League final, as we'll be back focusing on that yet again. But today it's all about the FA Cup as we try to win my favourite competition for a third time. We've got a couple of casualties, as you can see. Alex Andrade out with a broken toe. We knew that one from a couple of episodes back. But then a few days before the final, Luca Wagner, our best player on paper, he picked up a twisted knee and he's out for a week or two. But thankfully he's going to be back for the Champions League final. The bank balance is looking healthy as we got awarded for our Premier League finish. And in the end we finished 7 points clear of Arsenal after winning on the final day of the season. We played Manchester City at the Torquay Stadium, played a complete backup side, resting everyone for this, and Laurent Brunet and Malik Kante with the goals, one either side of half time. We started both halves on fire, and although Dude, a former transfer target, got one back, Man City weren't able to get anything out of the game. I think that means they finished below United. They did, but they're still in the top four, and remarkably Watford in 6th as well as winning the Carabao Cup. A very good season for my beloved Luton Town's rivals. Newcastle joined Brighton and Ipswich in going down, despite fighting back to get out the relegation zone at one point, so plenty of trouble all across the board, including for our former club from our other series. We did really well to finish the Premier League season with the best goals scored record, 81 in 38 games, but we conceded at a rate of nearly 1 a game this season, something we're not particularly proud of. 36 conceded won't win us the league too often, and we're going to have to be a lot better next year. Stojanovic is no longer unhappy about our man management though. He's happy with our team talks again and he's back in good morale, and that should help us today as he starts as number 1. So let's go and get into this final and give the FA Cup showpiece what it deserves. We're obviously the holders, so we could defend a trophy for the first time, as we're heavy favourites against a lower division side. Of course the rounds in the build up to this have been significantly harder on paper, but you never know what's going to happen on the big day, as yet again we've got a referee that hasn't managed a game this year. Let's not worry about that for now though. Palace will sell it out as they're just round the corner, and we've gone for a pretty familiar 11, bar Gracia who's in for Andrade of course. I think you could probably name it by now. Moraes is in for Wagner too, as of course he's out with a knock, and Stojanovic is in goal for this one. He'll be in his normal sweeper keeper role. We're tempted to change the keepers for the cups, but of course it's the final so we're not going to do it. Joining Stojanovic is Cura and Moraes at fullbacks, with McDonald and Singy in the middle. Bacanes in the holding role with Omar and Keita in the centre, and in Yiladian and Silla the two wingers, with Marco Gracia up front. He was obviously the hero in the Champions League semi-final, as he scored the winning goal in both legs against Real Madrid, and hopefully he'll do the same again today, although we'd like to win the final by more than one. Stuart John's on the bench just in case we're winning by miles, and then maybe he can come on and get his first goal of the season. So let's go and get into match with our positive mentality, and hope it's enough to get us over the line, where really we should be comfortably winning. It's a very defensive 4-4-2 for Palace, but look who's starting up front, the number 9 Owen Jack, a fan's favourite from Torquay, and he'll probably get a good round of applause. He's now 33 years of age, and he is starting to decline a little bit, but of course he's still been a good player for Palace, 193 league goals in 433 appearances. He obviously got 86 for us as well, so he's had a really prolific career, and since playing for us for 4 years he's been at Crystal Palace, and this is now his 12th season at the club. He's become somewhat of a legend there too. But let's go and talk to the lads and focus on ourselves. Stuart Jellion's gone back to his favourite team talk, wants the lads to go out and prove a point, and fingers crossed they'll do just that in the first half as we try and stamp a foothold in this game. So let's go and see who's got the kick-off. Well, we've got to deal with this tunnel interview first. Alan Diver is a player out injured for Palace. Let's see how good he is, shall we? He looks a decent player, but nothing special. Only a rotation option for Palace, so I'm sure they'll be able to cope without him. We don't feel the need to debate this game, particularly the fact that we're favourites and lacking motivation. It's an FA Cup final and a lad should be up for it, and why on earth have we changed kit? We play in yellow against a team in blue and red, and they've changed us into a blue kit. I really don't understand what's going on. Even if we're away from home, our away kit is that fluorescent green one, which we often get put in against teams in yellow, so I don't understand what's happened with the kits, but at least we've had a decent start to the game. Just over 10 minutes gone and there's been an early yellow card and an injury for Crystal Palace, unfortunately. One of their key players in the middle there. We're coming forward again with Omar, and it's out to the right hand side to Cura. Can't get over how similar these kits are, as Omar's got it 15 yards out, goes for the shot but is straight at the keeper. It's pretty well held by Richardson. As we say that, we're back for a highlight with O'Halloran. He finds Taylor and now White. Good football in the middle there from Palace. It's a shot from miles out and it almost goes into the woodwork. Stojanovic just gets a hand to it and he picks it up at the second attempt. Nearly half an hour gone, it's an Omar corner. McDonald's up and heads it down and Singy can't get it in but Moraes does. And finally it comes with almost half an hour of resistance. Moraes tapping in with his weaker foot, probably only 1 or 2 yards out. Normally we'd be more excited to be winning in the FA Cup final, but of course this is such a banana skin and we expect to win it, so there's not so much anticipation, there's not so much enjoyment when we're winning a game, we're just desperately trying not to be embarrassed. 10 till the break and now Owen Jack's picked up a yellow as Crystal Palace have had 2 shots on target. Something we've probably got to worry about actually, the fact we're starting to concede possession and territory. But as I say that, we've just won a penalty out of nowhere. Omar floated a ball in the box, McDonald was tugged down and a penalty's been given, and the inexperienced referee gave it. Omar slides it in the bottom corner. The keeper went the right way down to his right hand side, but he wasn't able to get there as it was perfectly placed, and we lead 2-0 on the stroke of half time. Crystal Palace with a kick-off which goes to White, and O'Halloran back to Rossi, the centre back. Into O'Halloran, the skipper again. Out to Buxton on the right hand side. Burton, who goes for the through ball, and McDonald finds Omar who charges over halfway. We look so threatening on the counter attack. The speed and tempo we can put into them is frightening, and Omar's got it again 20 yards out. Into Aladian whose shot's blocked. Taylor mops up and he clears it eventually, and the highlight ends with it still 2-0. Just 30 seconds to the break. It's been a comfortable game. Probably not our best performance of the season, but we've done enough to win the FA Cup final. A solid display then. Even though Palace have dominated possession, we're not changing our tactics despite playing a lower league side. We're going to bring them on to us and then counter at speed. You saw how effective that was already. The lads have been told to prove a point yet again from Jellin. They're all motivated and they seem to be desperate to win this. Defending a trophy is something we haven't done before, and it shows that spell of dominance, something that we haven't been able to do in this series. It's a throw on the right hand side for Palace. Moraes knocks it down but only as far as Taylor. He goes back to Burton who's on the edge of the box, and O'Halloran finds White. A brilliant strike from Crystal Palace, and they're suddenly back in the game. We lost our concentration and it really has cost us, and we're now going to demand more from the lads. Not the best start to the second half at all, and we got all excited about winning this competition, spoke about our 3rd success in 4 years, and it's certainly not done just yet. Crystal Palace have got something to say about it. Is Moraes coming forward on the left though? Into Gracia whose header goes in, and just like that we flick the switch and score. Gracia with a goal in another big game, and we've managed to restore our 2-goal lead. An hour gone and it's 3-1 to Torquay, and we'll start thinking about substitutions in a moment. We've got 2 weeks before the Champions League final, don't forget, so we haven't got to worry about condition at this stage. 20 minutes to go and we haven't seen much else yet, so we're going to go and make those changes now. Boubacar Silla's not had the best match, so we're going to replace him with Diogo Souza. Try and bring on some of the younger ones in this match, just to give them an experience at a cup final. Richard Quirk's going to come on at right back. He doesn't fall into that category, but of course he is a youth intake player, and he's been with us on and off for 10 or 11 years, so we always want our homegrown prospects in the final. Gracia's played well with the goal. Yanalian's maybe not had the best game, and I want to try and get Stuart John on, so he's going to play on the right hand side for now, and in fact he'll go up front with Gracia moving out wide. Gracia can go to the left, Souza on the right, and then 2 of the 3 are in their preferred position. Gracia goes to a support duty as an inside forward, and Moraes will drop to a supporting fullback as there's not going to be as much defensive help for him. Well, it's been a nothing 15 minutes and there's only 2 minutes left on the clock now. Owen Jack's dropped into a number 10 role, which I don't remember him being able to play. Although, hold on, Palace have scored another screamer. Swan has put one in from 25 yards. He was booked after 5 minutes of the game. And it's now 3-2 going into stoppage time. And we should really be embarrassed it's got this far. We've been in control of the game and conceded possession. Not really given them the respect 30 yards out. And they've produced 2 brilliant efforts on goal. And now they're coming forward again in stoppage time. White shoots from distance and Stojanovic has to save. We're going to go and make a couple of tactical tweaks. Richard Quirk will drop to a support duty, as will Omar in central midfield. And I really don't know what to say at this point, as Palace put it in the box again. And Singy heads it away and now Omar. We've got a 3-on-1 up there. Omar runs the length of the pitch, although one Palace man gets back, but he beats 2 of them and tries to cross. Rossi gets there and clears away. Just 1 minute of stoppage time remaining. It's Collins into White in the middle of midfield. Long ball towards Williams who flicks it on, and Singy heads away as far as Owen Jack. What a story it'd be if he scores. Close him down, will ya? It's Swan out to Evans on the left hand side, and finally we get the block on the cross. We're going to go to a balanced mentality for now. Time waste all the time. We really need to slow this game down a little bit, as things are getting a little out of hand. Palace have come back into it and have had more shots on target in the end, and we really don't deserve to be winning as it is. The first half was really comfortable and we just did enough, but we've been so sloppy and complacent in this half, and in the end Palace could have got a result out of it. With 10 seconds left though, it does look like we'll hold on, and although the Championship side have risen to the occasion in the Cup final, we have won the FA Cup for the 2nd time in a row. The 3rd in 4 years is a brilliant success. The celebrations there in the middle, the pink and grey suit gets another outing, and we win at Wembley for the umpteenth time, and we're continuing to improve our legacy. A brilliant result and not a great performance. We're going to have to be a lot better against Arsenal in the Champions League. We'll tell the lads we're pleased with the result. Most of them are confident and we need to keep the morale high. Of course we've got the biggest game in our history coming up and we need to be in the best possible form for that. We've got a Steam achievement for doing the double. Maybe that'll be a treble one soon. We've got 10 news items as well to look at, so let's go and see the confirmations. It seems a lot of messages, but I'm guessing most of them will be about the double or treble. They can't count the Community Shield really. I know technically it's the 3rd competition of the season, but that really is pushing it a little bit. If we win the Champions League, we'll certainly take it, but at this stage it just feels like a double. We win the FA Cup, there's the confirmation. We'll deal with a press conference off camera. We get just over 2 million, which will again help the bank balance, and we continue to enter the Hall of Fame. So now we're in the best managers ever to have worked in England. Before we were just in the English one. So we're in 9th place here on 892 points, 6 domestic divisions and 4 domestic cups, though of course most of those were lower tier trophies as we won leagues on our way up to the Premier League. Let's see what's happened to the English managers one, shall we? We're in 3rd place now with our Torquay manager, having just overtaken our head coach series boss, so we're really doing well in this one now, just behind Brian Clough and Bob Paisley, and the Champions League will probably take us halfway towards them after another big 2 trophy successes this season. We're in the Hall of Fame though, and we've done really well, and that's all you can really ask of at the start of a series. We've met most of our objectives and we could meet one more in 2 weeks, and of course you'll find out in tomorrow's episode if we can do so. It'll be a grandstand finish to the season, but in the meantime let's finish these messages. The Torquay board are really pleased with us, as they should be after winning a double. 3 wins in 4 years, there's dominance in this trophy, and you can see I take this competition quite seriously. The Everton boss Alex Neil was watching. He's interested in Yoladian and Keita. Why either of those players would go to Everton I don't know. Where did they finish in the Premier League? They must have been outside the top 6. They finished in 10th place, and I know it was very close between those sides, but that seems like a big backwards move for both of them. The squad get a payout which covers nearly all the money we've received, so unfortunately we haven't made much out of the FA Cup, but of course we win the trophy again as Crystal Palace are the overachievers, and it was a brilliant entertaining final, with the Championship side giving us an almighty scare. It was good to see Owen Jack in an FA Cup final too, a player that's contributed so much for us in this save, but let's go and have a look at the schedule to confirm the big big game we're coming back for in 2 weeks. So Van der Kolk's going to be out injured for it, as is Deming with a hip injury. Comper's unregistered, so he's not going to feature either, but it doesn't say anything about Alex Andrade, so let's go to the medical centre to see how long he's out. 12 days to 4 weeks, he's never going to be fit for that match. No idea why it's saying he will be. I don't think he's even going to make it to the bench. But nonetheless, with or without Andrade, we will be back to show you the game at the Millennium Stadium in 2 weeks. It's the Champions League final, quite possibly the biggest event of the series. So let me know how you think we're going to get on down in the comments, and we'll see how many of you are right. Is it going to be disappointment yet again, or are we going to be able to get the 5th out of 6 trophies? Of course, winning it would give us access to the 6th for the second time. We lost the Super Cup final after winning the Europa League, but if we win the Champions League, then surely we'd be favourites, and we'd have to hope for a bit of luck in our opponent. So if you did enjoy this episode and that really exciting FA Cup final, please do put a thumbs up on the video. Of course, we got more of a scare than we anticipated from Palace, but in the end it was 2 screamers they scored, and we scored 3 good goals to get over the line. The Crystal Palace fans are getting used to success at Wembley, and we're getting used to winning the FA Cup as it continues to help us up the English Hall of Fame. Subscribe to the channel for daily FM19 content from this Torquay United story. We'll have new episodes every Sunday to Thursday at 4:30, including the Champions League final tomorrow, and then after that we'll be back on Sunday for the start of the season, with a big transfer special in store I'd expect. So let's see how we get on in that one. Of course all the focus is on tomorrow. If you didn't see any of our announcements about FM20, then please do go back and catch up with Saturday's episode. We're really looking forward to the new game and some of the features that have been announced for it, so do go back and catch up with that, as we talked about some of the schedule changes on the channel and the way we're going to approach FM20, and there's also a vote in there for you as well, so you can help shape some of the content on the channel. There's also 3 episodes a week from my Cricket 19 career. That's on Tuesday, Thursday and Saturday at midday. We'll continue with that schedule through to FM20's release as well, but we'll then have 2 episodes every week from that series. Then finally we're coming towards the end of our Snooker 19 career. That one's on Fridays at 4:30. We're playing in the final event of the series, the season-ending World Championships, and we're hoping to finish the save with the ultimate glory by emulating our namesake Ronnie O'Sullivan and winning the Snooker World title. Of course that's easier said than done, but we'll have action from every round along the way, so do come and check out how we're getting on to see if we'll end in glory or failure. But a massive thanks for watching this one and your continued support with the series as always. I hope it was worthwhile to see another big cup final victory, and obviously completing a domestic double, which we'd like to turn into a treble tomorrow.